Welcome to Plugnplay Production. Today, Sikandar, a special guest from a super duper podcast from Plugnplay Production. Please add and subscribe to my station with 6 Visions Studios. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Sikandar. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank
You rock. 6 Visions.
Thank you. All right, hello. Yeah, my name is Sikandar. I have been around for a long time. 2017, I believe. Yeah, 2017. I joined with Amanda in the film camp.
Actually, that's when you joined the Hub.
For summer teaching, yeah.
The Hub camp you joined the year before.
No, the Hub was 2018.
Oh, okay, you're right.
Yeah. Hub was 2018. So I remember I joined the film program at the university in 2016, and at the time I wasn't too sure where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do. Just kind of wanted to be in production, kind of have hands-on experience on set. And it wasn't until about spring of 2017 where a friend of mine came and told me that this film camp is offering positions for the summer to teach kids and youth about filmmaking and stuff. And I just joined. Like I said, I had no experience prior to this. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I said I'll give it a shot. I joined, and immediately within just the 2 months of me teaching at the camp, I learned so much more on my own that going back the following year to university, I was given chances to produce 4th-year projects when I was just in my 2nd year. I was given opportunities to assist and direct and help coordinate projects of 4th years and third and 4th years while I was still in my 2nd year. Just in the 2 months alone, I learned at the camp. After that, I kind of found my place in sound production, like post-production audio, on-set audio. Kind of found my place doing pre-production when it comes to scouting a location. Like if I was to go to a location with the director, is this good to shoot in for sound or not? It's kind of really focusing in on audio, where I became the go-to audio person for a lot of students, whether they're in the 1st year, 2nd year, even 4th year. Even graduates have come to me to do audio production work while I was still in school. In 2018 is when the Hub opened up, and at that time I went to Amanda and said I needed a workspace. And she told me about the Hub. I went and I rented an office from her, and I was with her until 2022, I believe. Yeah, 2022. And I stayed with her till then, and it just gave an opportunity for me as well to kind of start a podcast and to kind of start experimenting with my own production skills too, because I had access to the building 24/7. I was able to go whenever I wanted. I was able to, bring a crew there if I had to shoot something. I was able to kind of start my own production, brainstorm, however long I wanted to be there, I was able to be there, and I did. And that gave me the opportunity to start my podcast, because at the time, I was doing a project for school that ended up on CBC, local shorts, and I remember when I was interviewed for that, the only thing that I could remember the entire time was this is going to be seen nationwide, so I couldn't speak properly. I was very nervous. I was a wreck. I watch it back now, and I hate it. And that kind of gave me the motive to be like, I need to start something where I'm comfortable speaking on camera. So I started the show where I just interviewed local artists, and it sounds like it was for that mainly. It was mainly for me to just get comfortable speaking on camera when I didn't have to worry about how I looked or how I sounded, and not giving any attention to what's in front of me. It was just about me and whoever I'm speaking with. I did that for a few years, and then that gave me enough confidence to speak on camera to the point where in 2020, a comedian that I really like, Andrew Schultz, he's based in New York, was doing a editing competition. And I'm like, you know what? I want to do podcasts, but I don't want to do editing as much, but if this is my way in, I'll do it. So I entered his editing competition, and out of over 1,000 entrants, I was top 10. And that to me was a shock, because I never liked editing. And it was one of those things where I was in school, I'm like, editing is something I don't want to do. I had a top 4 or 5 list of positions, and editing was literally at the bottom. And so the fact that I got that, I was very shocked. And then after that, we had to do another entry, and I ended up becoming top 3. So I placed 3rd out of this competition. That gave me the opportunity to work with Andrew, and that was my step into podcasting. At the time, because of COVID and everything, productions were slowing down. I was still able to kind of do my podcast over Zoom and over Skype, so I did that. I kept that going, and I interviewed people from Atlanta, New York, just to kind of, again, build that confidence up a little bit. And I managed to land some people that I was a fan of, so it made it easier, and it kind of gave me it shone a light on, if you just reach out to people simply because back then, because everyone was home on lockdown, people just wanted to speak. People wanted to interact with everybody. So I'm reaching out to people I've been fans of, music producers, comedians, actors, and they're all reaching back to me, emailing me back saying we're down to do it. So it made me feel excited that I was able to talk to these people. So that kind of showed on camera as confidence, even though it was like a fake confidence almost. And when people saw that from when I was in the competition, people saw that and they saw, oh, he has this confidence. He can speak on camera very well, not knowing it was I was just excited. I felt like a kid. And they saw that when I went to New York, they kind of gave me not an interview, but it was like a mock interview of a podcast show. I got to talk to some people over there, and it was just, I don't know, it felt like I was living a dream per se, because I'm sitting in this podcast studio and I could just talk to people and people are asking me questions. I felt like I was being interviewed and nothing was rolling. But that to me opened a lot of doors because it's a matter of being in the right place at the right time. So going back really quick to that competition, because I was in third place, and after I went and people saw my podcast and stuff, the owner of the studio, that WTF Media, reached out to me and he said, hey, I saw this episode, you're a great speaker, you do this very well, I want to have you as a part of this team. And by part of the team, I thought, I get to produce a show, I get to host a show, I get to do something. He's like, I need an editor for my studio. Okay. So I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? He's like, we need editors to be full-time and do clip edits. We're going to send you the show and just cut social media promo clips. I'm like, all right, if that's what I got to do. So now I've been doing that for 3 years? No, 2.5, because in 2021 is when I got hired. So I've been doing that for about 2.5 years now, and honestly, it changed my mind on editing completely. That now, because of podcasting, I've been given opportunities such as talking to people that I grew up listening to. I worked with Andrew. Not only was I just a big fan of his, I got to meet him in a studio. I sat with him. I talked to him for 15, 20 minutes, and the advice that he gave me in that short amount of time was, it changed my life literally, because at this point now, I went from being someone who didn't know what I wanted to do, just having an affinity for podcasting, someone who just loves stand-up comedy, and getting to blend both of those worlds together, to me has become, again, I'll say a dream come true. And I don't know how corny that sounds, but really it is, because to me it's so surreal that now I can pick up my phone, and if I want to text Andrew Schultz, if I want to call him, he can just hit me back with anything. That gave me more opportunities. It snowballed. There's this radio personality, Charlemagne the God. He's someone I've been listening to since 2010 when he launched his show. And I sat in a room and him and I had a conversation, and he told me about, just what it's like to be in the industry of just when your voice is your personality, and the importance of your words and all that stuff too. So hearing that was really sweet, man. And after that, production, I kind of shied away a little bit from production, from film sets and stuff like that, but went into more podcasting focus. Now, I'm still editing for the studio, but I'm also kind of working on producing more shows. There's this big hip hop DJ Drama, who launched this massive podcast on Amazon Music, and I got to co-produce his show as well, as long as edit that as well. So again, someone who I've been listening to since I was in high school, and that to me was just shocking to how many doors and avenues that podcasting has. Where to me at the time, podcasting was just, you're sitting with your friends, you're just talking about whatever and just having fun with your friends, but knowing the level of production and time and the quality that goes into making these shows, it really opens your eyes into a broader scene. And I applied some of those techniques into film production. So now when I do the film sets here and there, when I get called on and I feel like I'm able to do it, I'll go do it. And to me, just the way you speak to people in an interview setting, the way you speak to people on set, I apply that to kind of how I talk to talent or how I talk to my coworkers, and it just gives you more of a personable personality. It allows you to be more social, more welcoming. People are open up to you more, they feel more comfortable working with you. Like I said, I focus mainly in sound. So now when I go on set, I'm doing audio. One of the biggest things with audio production is when you have to allow an actor up. And you're getting in their personal space, so you have to be comfortable enough. They have to be comfortable with you. You don't want to be weird about it. So just being able to confidently talk to somebody, comfortably talk to somebody, and make them comfortable with you, I attribute that to podcasting, because I was able to just speak to people and just being able to open up and just talk to people confidently and comfortably. And it all honestly started because of the Hub, because I had that chance to start my first podcast and take that step to just kind of launching everything, and everything really just snowballed from working with Amanda and opening up the Hub. So, but yeah, that's kind of, I haven't had like a tough journey per se, in the sense of like what I had to do to get to where I'm at. It was more so just kind of, oh, I see this opportunity, let me see if I can just take it. It was more so luck, I would say. Obviously hard work added on top of it, but then the toughness would more so come, I guess, would have to be like the roadblocks I had from dealing with like social pressures of like, are you going to be able to do this? Is this something that's reasonable? Is it a realistic choice? Sure, why not? Because hearing that my whole life, my only goal was I want to do something I love, and I love production, whatever it was. I didn't care if it was TV, I didn't care if it was movies. At the time I didn't know what podcasting was, so I didn't really care if it was radio, to be honest. And I just wanted to do it, and I got a chance to do it, and now it's just something that, like, because I'm able to just put my head down, work, get done what I need to get done, it just, I don't know. Looking back on it, I'm like, I'm glad I wasn't able to start when I was wanting to start back in 2012, because I wouldn't have been where I was. I kind of played out everything, I kind of put all the roadblocks out, and everything just worked out the way it did, when it was supposed to, I feel. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of my whole story, really. It's not much of a struggle story, but it's more so of me just jumping on every opportunity I had and just kind of giving everything to every opportunity.
Great.
Yeah.
So we're going to open up for questions. The reason I got the dates mixed up, I forgot that you were working the camp while you were still in the Hub too.
Yeah.
Because he did work the camp about 4 years at least.
Yeah.
And then, but he was also in the Hub. Our building before this one was part of what's called the Hub, and that's what we're talking about. This is our third and final location, but one of the buildings we did call it the Hub.
Yeah, the Hub. It was the office that I had too. I got lucky because I told Amanda, I'm like, I want first picks on the office. So I went in and I got the top floor. It was a really nice building. I missed that place a lot.
Yeah,
actually. I drive by it almost every day. I miss it.
The owners sold it during COVID. We had two buildings by two different owners, and both owners sold them in April of 2020 when COVID hit to Toronto buyers. So we were asked to leave both. The other thing that Sikandar did a lot of, which is what a lot of you are doing, so we did a couple of podcasts for nonprofits because I was trying to help him, get to know his industry. So we did, remember with Joanne, we did the podcast.
Yes, I'll talk about that too.
Yeah.
So this was actually at the Hub.
Yeah.
In the big room. So we had it was for elders and mental health and stuff, and we kind of did a podcasting based off that. I don't remember the lady's name who hosted it.
Joanne. You meant the youth diversion one or the mental
Yeah,
health one?
youth
We
diversion.
did both, yeah.
Okay.
Youth diversion, Joanne.
The youth diversion one, she had this podcast where she wanted to talk about like, mental health and like the elderly and stuff like that too, and it really gave me my first step in producing a podcast, because I got to know what it's like to not just set up and record, but kind of take into account your ambience and your environment of where you're recording, because even if it's audio only, obviously everything kind of plays a factor. You want to make sure that where you're recording is a viable place to have sound. You don't want to just have an empty room just because it's audio only, no one's seeing anything. But that to me was my first experience in producing and editing a full podcast show, which I got to, like I said, now apply to my project I did with Amazon Music. So that was really cool.
Yeah, and it was a 6-part series. So again, introducing him to the area, right?
Yeah.
The same as the internship you're doing. So that was one intern. Then we did a couple of corporate videos as interns also, which was a good experience.
Yeah, the corporate videos, those to me were experience to shoot solo. I had never done a solo project before that. It was always like on set. I've never directed a project before that. It was more so just me kind of showing up and working for a producer or a company. So that was the first time I got a chance to go on set myself and kind of dictate what's going on and shoot everything myself and edit everything. We'll piece things together and kind of figure out, this is what I want, this is the angle I want, this is the way I want to go, this is the story I want to tell. And yeah, that was challenging at first too, but doing that a few times, I'm like, this is fun. And that kind of led me into shooting a little bit of music videos. I didn't really talk much about music videos. It's not really like a big thing that I kind of do. It's mostly just a friend of mine He's a singer, so he loves to sing. He's always wanting music videos. So I'm like, if you're cool with having low quality music videos at first, just so I can practice, let's do it. He's like, let's do it. So I've been doing music videos for him now for maybe 2 or 3 years as well.
To open up for questions, I just wanted to give an example of someone who's gone through the program from beginning to end, really, that many of you guys are doing right now. So it's been, a number of years, but I see like huge progress, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. So questions?
Yeah.
Who's the biggest star besides myself that you ever podcast or did anything for?
Well, the one I just did for Amazon Music, his name was DJ Drama. He's a world-renowned hip-hop DJ. His podcast, he interviewed 6 different artists. Some of them, I guess, Pharrell. I don't know if people know. He did the whole thing for the Minions thing, and also world-renowned. Tyler, the Creator, was another guy. Lil Wayne. So like he's really hip-hop based because he's celebrating 50 years of hip-hop. So he's one of the biggest names. The other one would be Charlemagne the God, the radio personality. I got to sit and talk with him for a bit. I worked on his podcast for a bit too. So.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
The podcast that you did yourself during COVID, what was it called?
Oh, I just call it Six Visions Exclusives. It's like Six Visions Media was a production company name that I just made because I needed something for university. So to launch a short film that we did, we had to put under a banner that we made. So I'm like, I don't have a company, so I just kind of came up with Six Visions Media, which is just, like everyone calls me Sick, it's just my name, like my pluralized, that's it. But I'm like, okay, I just need something. So naming something I'm terrible at it. I'm so bad at naming things. So I'm Six Visions Exclusive was the name of the interview. So it's just, it's on YouTube, yeah.
What would you say is like you said you're doing music videos with your friend there?
Yeah.
Right? I'm assuming you're essentially doing everything on your own.
Yeah.
But like, what would you say is like the most people you've had on set on a project where you're just operating everything by yourself?
As in like it's my set per se.
Yeah, it's like your production, but like how many people are you having to direct? Everything?
The biggest one I did was actually same for my friend here. We did a music video for him in 2021. I think I had maybe 8 people on crew, and I think I had 13 to 15 people on uncast. That was a nightmare. We shot it over in Leamington, and we shot parts of it here in Windsor. So it was just driving back and forth and getting everyone to coordinate like schedules, and we had a few people bail on us literally the day of, hours before they were supposed to be on set. And so just finding replacements, and as a director, you're basically solving questions. Like somebody once told me that as a director, all you're doing is answering questions all day. And it's true, and trying to solve problems. And that to me was a 3-day shoot, and we had to have maybe 3 or 4 extra days just because timing wise. One day we literally
self-financed as well.
Sorry?
Like it's self-financed.
Yeah, everything was self-financed. Me and my friend, the singer, we kind of came together and just budgeted everything out of pocket. So, like one of the days we had to stop shooting because it was an overnight shoot, and literally the sun was coming up. So we're like, we have to, no choice but to stop right now. So that was definitely probably the hardest one for sure.
The other thing I just thought about that you did with the team, and one of the things that we want to do with this building is if people are interested in this, we need to work towards it, but you may be interested. As my Jessica is the actress, we had a film play that a team of you filmed for the, I can't remember the name.
At the
at the old church.
I know the church over the Riverside, yeah.
Yeah, so it was a play and there was no audience. They just wanted to make a video of their play and for social media. I can't remember the name of the theater company, but anyway, it turned out really, really great. But you and there was 4 of you. You did the sound.
Yeah.
You were in charge of sound. And
That sound project was it was fun because it was they had the stage. I don't remember the name of the venue, but it's right over on Riverside next to the train station.
Larry Horowitz's place on Riverside.
Water's Edge.
Water's Edge, that's the one.
Holy Rosary
How many?
Church.
And you got a ton of microphones.
I had like 8 microphones plugged in, all scattered throughout the church, because they had people on the stage, they had people in the aisles, they had people over on the balcony. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, how am I supposed to? I can't. How? So I told the man, I'm like, I need this many microphones. I need this thing. So I just set up microphones everywhere in the church, and that was a mission. Just trying to make sure that obviously the wires are in a safe place. I have 2 or 3 different mixers going, so no one's tripping over cords. I don't have excess cords, and
the sound turned out pretty good. They were very pleased.
Yeah.
But it's a great way for local film companies. They can come here and with or without an audience, but with the audience is too much sound. But they can come here, do it for a live audience, and they can do one more set to film, and then they can put their plays online and go virtual to sell more tickets and make more money. So if you know of theater companies, that's another thing we need to start doing with theater companies in town. Because we have a really inexpensive venue and we have filmmakers, but they loved it. Women's Feminist Theater, we did it with them. It was great. It was really great.
Yeah, that was a fun.
Yeah, Marty Gervais was the writer, was the author, and it was Women's Feminist Theater put it on. But yeah, it was good.
That was fun.
Lots of different things you can do.
Where is, well, first of all, congrats. That's
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man.
Hearing what you've gone through, that's wonderful. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Where is your mind when you know that you have to meet someone who is Andrew Schultz, that is Charlemagne? These people who are like idols and world renowned. Where is your mind like the night before? How do you sleep? How do you prepare?
So this is funny. You know when you're a kid and you just play out scenarios in your head?
Yeah.
I do that. Like I'll be laying down trying to go to bed, or I'll just be like watching a YouTube video or something, and I'm just like playing out scenarios of how I think this is going to go, right? I'm like, oh, Schultz, didn't see you there. Like, just trying to play out different things of how I feel like this might go. Never once has it gone how I thought, but I remember the first time I met Andrew too, it was at his show when he did in Toronto. So the night before, actually this was because he announced the show in October of 2021, that he was coming in March of 2022, and his videographer, tour videographer, I was talking to him, he got me a chance to photograph the show. So since October I've been planning this meeting of how I'm going to meet Andrew, and I was just so excited. Like I remember at one point I told my brother and I couldn't speak. I was just like I was lost for words. And as it got closer and closer, I just kind of felt like more natural. I didn't feel nervous. I'm like, this is weird. Why am I accepting this? Is this normal? The night before the show, I was in Toronto and I could not sleep at all because the only thing running through my mind is I don't care if the show's coming, I don't care how many people at the show, I don't care that they sold out. I'm meeting Andrew tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where they say it's like, you know, never meet your idols, but I'm glad I met my idol because he sat me down for 2 hours and we chopped it up for 2 hours, and I actually wrote a joke with him that he used on stage that night, which killed the crowd, and I was so happy, man. But when I met him, that to me was something that I had to compose myself, and I'm like, if I freak out, it's a professional thing, I guess, right? Because if I freak out in front of him, you look weird, right? You don't want to be that person, but also you shouldn't be shy. I'm not afraid to say like I'm a huge fan of yours. Thank you for everything. Like when I met Charlemagne, not a single word came out of my mouth because I couldn't speak. The guy's like 5'5", bro. I couldn't say a word to him. I was so scared and intimidated. And my boss, Alex, who's the producer of this podcast, said the same thing. I've been working with him for 8 years now, and every time he walks in the room, I get frozen up. He just has this aura to him. It's weird. Like to him, I couldn't say anything, and no matter how much I prepped to meet him too. But Andrew was someone, for example, like I was so nervous the night before I couldn't sleep, but when I met him, it's like the nerves just go away. Like at first I was starstruck. He walks on stage, my mouth couldn't close, and I was good thing I had the mask on because like I looked like a child. But I remember man, sitting with him afterwards. It was just normal. It was like right now, just talking with everybody here. It felt great.
How has your relationship like developed, and the way you look at him? Do you kind of see him more as like this guy's just like us? He's just like me. He's gone through.
Yeah, it's
life.
weird, man, because when at first you look at them through a screen or you look at them, you know, on shows or in person, and you're just like that, that's unattainable, right? When you have that sort of conversation with him, even for 5 minutes, like I talked to Russell Peters for 5 minutes, and I felt like he was on my level, or I was on his level. It just was so weird. And Russell's someone I grew up watching since 2005. Like it was just weird, and so now it's like the relationship isn't something I can just message him for advice every single day. Like he's a busy guy, but if I need something, I'm like, hey man, I need this, or what do you think about this, or how do I do this? Like either he gives me a quick call or just sends me a quick text, and like this is how you do it. So I'm appreciative of what it is. I'm not like his best friend, but at the same time, I'm no longer that stranger to him, and he's no longer a stranger to me, which I think is really cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Anyone else?
So
Yeah.
when you went from like hating editing to appreciating editing, what changed?
I think it's what I was editing.
Okay.
So I wasn't editing short films. I wasn't editing long form media. Even my own podcast, like I hated it so much I didn't even bother editing. I'm like, I'm gonna just go with the raw format. That it is what it is. You mess up on camera, you mess up on camera. That was my way of just training myself. So, but with editing, it's like, because for the studio I'm editing social media clips, it makes it fun, right? So I'm basically grabbing like a minute portion from the episode, and I'm adding subtitles and animation and music and graphics, and I'm making like this fun little 1 minute piece, basically. So the content is what made it, like, changed my mind on it. When I have to edit music videos, I still kind of dread it, to be honest with you. When I do, on the rare occasion, like maybe I think I've done it 3 or 4 times only, I've done short film edits and I hated it. It kind of made me feel like that way. I'm like, I don't want to do this. But I think it's the content mainly that I'm editing. Yeah.
Do you have a studio for your podcast, or do you do it exclusively on Zoom? Or
No, I did have the hub, like Amanda was saying, but when the owner sold it, the studio kind of went. And as of right now, ever since I started working with WTF, because they're based in New York, it's hard for me to kind of get a studio access through them. But for my own studio, I've just been so busy, I haven't been able to.
He's going to use the studio in here. I'm going to answer that for you. He's going to use the studio in here.
Yeah, when it's up and running. As of right now, I don't have a
in the
spot.
meantime, would you like to be a guest on my studio?
I'll be a guest to your studio for sure.
Next follow-up on this. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I love podcasting. I just love just talking and just talking with people, man. Like that's my
Yeah,
thing.
that's
So it's
like you say, it comes from the heart, the passion.
It's one of those things that like, even though I don't have a studio, I don't do it on Zoom right now, but I can just, like, I feel like I'm comfortable enough to talk on camera if I need to be, so I'm not worried. Yeah, I love to.
Well, I'm trying to be a media whore, and it's not, this is the way to do it. So be it bigger and better, and
Every element,
fake
every
it till you make it. That's my motto, and I'm
Fair.
sticking to it.
Fair enough.
That's my show.
Fair enough. Anyone else? Yeah.
What's maybe one time where you were in an interview and it just felt it wasn't going your way, and then you kind of took it and changed it, and kind of makes you realize what you can do?
Like when I was interviewing?
Yeah, when you're...
Yeah. So one of those challenges, I think it was my second interview ever. I feel bad saying this about the person, but like they were very dry.
Right.
They weren't giving me anything to work with. So a lot of my conversations, even in person, is like if I'm talking with you, kind of what you're saying is what's giving me ideas. So I never wrote questions down. I never prepared, because I'm a very natural, free-flowing conversationalist, right? He wasn't really giving me much to work with. So he would give me like 2 or 3 word answers. Hey, how did you feel about this? I don't know. Hey, how did you, like, what was your mind at when you made this album? No, I don't know. Like, that's what I'm asking you, right? So he didn't really give me much to work with. So that probably was my toughest interview, just in that element, and kind of in the fly where, I haven't watched it back in a while. I'm sure you can probably see it on my face that I'm like thinking of which way to take this and how to kind of bring it back. But that's probably the toughest thing, is like realizing like in the moment, sometimes you're not going to always get the best person to talk to, right? And just kind of how you can figure it out on the fly. Yeah.
Bottom line is, you get a dream, go after it, right?
What kind of interviews you make jokes out of?
What was that?
So what was the kind of interviews you make jokes out of?
Yeah. Off camera he was great. He was talking so well, like open and everything. And the moment the camera started rolling, he put on this tough guy persona. I'm like,
well, that's what I'm saying.
loosen up.
That's what I'm saying. If you videotape that, and like you said, if you goes, how do you think about this video? How did this video, music video, and you're like, well, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think getting on camera.
Flip the script, yeah.
Just getting a reaction from that, just like.
Exactly.
Move for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So did you video record your podcast?
Yeah, they were video recorded, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I can leave the link with Amanda. I don't know if she'll be able to get it, if you emailed them out or not, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I did not. I can
No,
put
you-
out your Facebook. Yeah, if you send me the link, I'll email
yeah, I'll
it.
do that.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
Sure. Okay, so do you want to stay around for a few minutes? We're going to have a couple announcements
Yeah.
and just straighten out where I think people might want to talk to you one-on-one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Ishwar, come up and this is on Wednesday night. Mark your
Wednesday,
calendar.
7:30. This.
Come.
Hi everyone, this Wednesday we have a film screening of India's biggest indie film, which has got 9.4 out of 10 IMDb rating. And he's my friend. He has studied in the university. Though he has done engineering, his passion was in filming, so he did it anyway. And it has got almost 7 selections. I'll read out: Toronto Independent Film Festival, Vancouver Independent Film Festival, Chicago Indie Film Festival, Windsor Shorts, Phoenix Shorts, Mumbai Film Festival, and Dada Saheb Phalke Film Festival. Dada Saheb Phalke Award is India's biggest national film award. The music is very great, and he also got his producer for the next film. Right now he's in Toronto writing his script, and he's also looking for some of the collaborations. So it would be very great if you come to the screening. It's just a 50-minute length film, so it won't take much of your time, and I encourage everybody to please.
What day is it, sir? What day?
Wednesday.
This Wednesday.
This
On
Wednesday.
August 2nd,
Yes.
Okay.
Please, everyone come.
At what time, sir?
7:30 p.m. It starts at 7:30 p.m.
For screenings, we ask for a minimum $2 at the door, so.
Yeah, he's coming here. The director and the team is coming here.
So please, everyone, show. Tell your friends who are not here. Because they're coming to meet local filmmakers, so it is important. Great, thank you. Any other announcements? So the next class is Sarah Blue's acting class, I think is next. And set building, I'm still working on the days because we were doing daytime, a lot of you want nighttime, and so we're struggling with that. Costume design is the first weekend in September, and Ted Becerra is doing a directing class in late August. He's waiting to give me the class now. And we're doing a 2-day seminar on the business of filmmaking. One day late August, one day early September. So a lot coming up. It's all in the emails. You get the emails, right? I think.
I think so.
Yeah. I think I'm sure.
You said you're in night acting classes?
Acting classes are weekend. Sarah has a Saturday and Sunday.
Is that night or morning?
Daytime.
Daytime?
Okay, so sounds great. Thank you very
Sounds
much.
good. Well, thanks for having you on the show. It's a pleasure having you on the Super Duper podcast. I would like to make another announcement that Hell Yeah Radio and Plug and Play Radio is going to have a podcast from Memphis all the way down to New York to Canada. We're going to make a triangle and have some American podcasters. And I would like to have you join on board.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
So thanks for having you, and we'll see you soon.
All right.
Please add and subscribe to my station. Thanks for having Six Vision Studios.
All right. Cool.
Good?
Yes, sir.
Got me doing this. He's been chasing me around with that thing.
He's in the Unknown Hero movie, The Prez. And same with Ace.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on the show
Anytime.
again.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I want to ask you, you've interviewed celebrities, right?
A few, yeah. Not like many on my own show, but I've met them and worked with them on their.
Well, have you ever met James Spader?
No, I don't know who that is.
Huh?
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who James Spader is?
James Spader? No.
James Spader. You ever watch Marvel Age of Ultron?
Yeah.
He's the voice of Ultron.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know that. I'm not that big of a.
All right, if you Google James Spader, then you'll know who he is.
Okay.
Right. And if I ever come across him at like Comic-Con or whatever,
Okay.
right, I'm gonna ask him. Say you're James Spader, right?
Yeah.
I'll go. You ever, if a family member comes up to you, and asks you if you can help them, like once again, the show is considering you can open up doors that would normally be invisible to that person, would you help them out, right? Because he's already made it. Right. So I was like, and if he goes, yeah, I go, well, here's my actual driver's license. Let me know if you see anything familiar.
Is that what he looks like?
This is not my actual license.
Oh, yeah.
See my last name?
Yeah.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
I don't get it, but I missed the
My last
punchline.
name is Spader.
Yes, Ed Spader.
The
Ace
celebra-
Man.
The celebrity's name is James Spader.
Oh,
Same last name. That's his way in.
that's his way in. Thanks for having you guys.
All right.
It's a pleasure.
Anytime.
Keep in touch.
Absolutely.